Hey, so I've been trying to upload this video and make this video about my weekend in Madrid, but my camera wasn't working, my microphone wasn't working. Now I think everything's working. So I didn't go to Madrid last weekend, but the weekend before that. And Betty and I went Friday morning at like 10:30. We got on the bus, took the bus to Madrid, which was like 5 or 6 hours. It was a nice bus. It had Wi-Fi. We could sleep on it. It was all good. Got there, took a taxi because we didn't know where we were going, to the hostel. And then the taxi driver, first of all, pretty sure it was only €6, but he charged us 12. Don't know why. And then all he had was a $50 bill, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have change for that." So he was like, run around and try to find some change in these places. And so I was running into bars, like, "Do you have change? Do you have change?" Like running into fabric stores asking for change. And they kept like looking at me and scoffing, and they were like, "No, not for $50, €50 or whatever." So finally I went back out. I was like, "Nobody's gonna give me change." So he was like, "Fine." And he was so irritated with us. So then he gave me change, and he also forgot to give me another euro. He took an extra euro, so it was €13, which is outrageous for the taxi ride. But anyway, we didn't take a taxi again. So we went to our hostel, which was pretty nice, and it was alright. I mean, it had 14 beds in one room, and it was kind of hot and then cold sometimes, like uncomfortably hot and uncomfortably cold. And then 14 bunk beds. About half of them were boys and half of them were girls. It was whatever. It was just a place to sleep. And they had lockers with a sensor on a bracelet, so you just put your bracelet on there, open your locker, put your stuff in, closed it, locked it again. So then that night, Friday night, we went out and walked around, and we went to this cute little, what's it called? Store. Tourist shop for gifts. And got some cool gifts, and they also gave us a ticket for a free city tour the next day, which is awesome. And then we also went to we also walked around, and like, Madrid's crazy. It was packed full of people. I would equate it to like New York City in America, maybe. I don't know, I could be totally off. I've never been to New York City, but it was really big, and there were a ton of people. We ate at an all-you-can-eat buffet, which I don't know if Spain understands that America has those everywhere, so they're not that awesome. Like, they're just really common, but they were like, "Oh my gosh, you can eat whatever you want." And I was like, "I get that." And they're like, "You can come back down 1,000,000 times." I was like, "I get that." But, which the food wasn't awesome, and I didn't want to eat as much as I could. Like, it was alright. The meat, I had pig's feet for the meat. That was like the only kind of meat they had. It was pretty good though, but everything else was kind of gross. So we ate as little as possible and then left. And then we saw The Lion King, the musical. We didn't see it. We just saw the billboard and like the place where it was. We wanted to go, but the tickets were so expensive. Plus it was in Spanish, so at the time we just we didn't want to sit there, we wanted to hang out in Madrid. We walked around, did some shopping. So there are people there that there's music everywhere. People are playing music everywhere. Like, you can't walk down a street without hearing music. And it was really cool. People had like guitars or pianos or saxophones or something, and they were all like playing music. There were also people dressed up as statues. Like, they had their face painted like silver and their hair silver, clothes were completely silver, and like they'd pose like a statue. And I don't know, it was really creepy because I didn't know they were statues until like one of them moved and started blinking, and it was scary, but it was really cool. And then there were also people boys dressed up as clowns with these paper mache flowers, and they'd go up to all the girls and they'd say, "Oh, do you want to buy a flower?" And of course I was like, "Yeah, I want to buy a homemade flower." It was cool. It's a cool looking flower, and it smelled good, and it was only like as much as I could give them, so I could give them 10 cents and be fine and get a flower, but I gave them a euro. But they were cool. And then there were also people like homeless. I don't know if they were homeless or just really poor and rough looking people sitting out with like cats, like kittens, like a mama cat and then some kittens. And so I took a picture of one, and the guy was like, "Oh, you can't take pictures. It costs money." And then I realized they had a sign that said, "Help us feed our cat. Help us feed these kittens pictures for money." I was like, "Oh, great." So I gave him €2, and I was like, that was waste. Anyway, and then there were also people with people dressed up as characters like Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse. And it also cost money to take pictures of them, because I tried to take a picture of SpongeBob and he kept running away from me until I realized, oh, it costs money. And I don't want to pay for a picture of SpongeBob because I could just download one off the internet. But anyway, packed full of people. I think there was a protest the same weekend we were there. I'm not sure what it was over. It was over like something political, but I'm sure it was really important to the world. But at the time, I just wanted to try the sangria. So, yeah. So that night, we went back to the hostel, and the hostel has a bar in the basement. And so we went down to the bar and we got just a cup of sangria, which I didn't realize big cup meant big cup. It's the size of a Route 44 big cup of sangria. It was only €3, so I was like, hell yeah. So anyway, got a big cup of sangria, hung out and did the basic, where are you from? What are you doing here? What are you studying? Business in Madrid, or at the hostel with all the other hostel residents. And it was interesting, it was cool, it was whatever. So then later we wanted to go to bed, and it was actually a huge pain trying to go to sleep in the hostel, trying just to be really quiet, not turn on the lights, and unlock our lockers and get all of our stuff out without making too much noise, and grabbing out what we needed, going and showering and putting on our pajamas. It was just so difficult because it was pitch black in the room and it was really quiet and people were sleeping. It's so annoying. But then we woke up the next morning at 9:30ish, 9ish, something like that. And we had our city tour at 10 with Vive Madrid, which it's an awesome tour. I think everyone who goes to Madrid should definitely take it. I will post the link below when I upload these. Don't let me forget. It was really cool. So then we met with our group, and we walked around and we looked at all this cool stuff. We saw the palace, but the palace line was huge, hundreds of people. It would have taken hours just to get in to see it. We saw the royal gardens. We saw buildings, statues, Don Quixote statue. There's statues everywhere in Madrid. Statues everywhere in Oviedo, and Oviedo is nothing compared to Madrid. But I took a lot of cool pictures. And then after we got done with the group, then we went to a cafe to end the day. Ate some lunch. It was good. It was really filling and cheap. They had 2 courses and with a lot of food. I had the paella and sangria for lunch. And then they were like, oh, hey, you can go out with us tonight. It costs €20, which is basically, we went to, I think, 3 bars. But either way, you pay the cover to the tour guide. And then you also get free drinks for the whole night, which was nice. So we wanted to do that because we didn't want to go out alone in Madrid, So we did that. And then we were like, okay, let's go find something to wear. Because all I brought was tourist clothes. I didn't bring anything to wear out to a club or anything. I brought t-shirts and tank tops and shorts and flip-flops. But so we went out and we looked around and bought clothes. I'm gonna stop this video because I'm getting to the end, and then I have a part 2, and then I'll make a part 2, and then I have a part 3. So go to the next one.